Dr. Afija, we are good Power5Girls. In this video presentation, we are going to talk about the industrial system in China. China is officially known as the People's Republic of China. It is the second most populous country in the world with over 1.4 billion people. Between 2021 and 2025, China's population is gradually decreased due to fewer birth and growing population, and with the high costs associated with raising children. In 2024 alone, the country lost around 1.39 billion people, bringing the total population down to approximately 1.408 billion. Although this still represents about 70% of the global population, projections suggest it may drop to 1.38 billion by 2030, with a negative growth rate of 0.1% in 2024. For the GDP growth rate, China continues to maintain strong GDP growth with an expected rate of 5.0% in 2024, although the International Monetary Fund projected a slightly slower rate of 3.95% of 2025. China's total GDP stands at 29.2 trillion, making it the second largest economy in the world after the United States. The service sector has now overtaken manufacturing as the largest contributor to the economy. Although manufacturing remains significant in terms of trade, China reported a total trade volume of 992 billion, with export exceeding imports, resulting in a trade surplus. Overall, despite demographic change, China remains a global economic force.
Now, let's look at the domestic worker in China, focusing on these three major cities, which is Changsha, Beijing, and also Jinan. First, as we can see in the bar chart, Changsha has the highest percentage of domestic worker compared to the other two cities. Domestic worker in this area mostly come from the rural background and have low education level, usually only up to junior high school. Many of them working without a formal contract. That means they don't have a legal protection and access to the social benefit. As a result, they often face issues like unpaid wage and also forced overtime. According to the bar graph, more than 50% of domestic workers are informal employment. Then 85% of the domestic workers are married and live away from their husband. In the final graph, we can see that domestic workers, especially in Beijing, live away from their husband. In Changsha and Jinan, the number is also higher, but a bit lower than Beijing. Lastly, in terms of education, there are 20% of domestic workers in Beijing have completed their senior high school or higher, but in the Jinan and Changsha, there are also 20% of them. So next is employment of migrant worker. Most of women migrant worker is aged between 35 and 54 years old. They're typically rural China in the central and western province. Working hour also different, which is 77 until 84 hours per week. Earning also different in the cities like Beijing and Changsha. Workers tend to earn more with live-in worker, which is CNY 4,918 compared to live-out worker. As we can see, foreign workers face a strictly regulation. They require legal permit and their employment is tightly controlled. Despite rising demand, local labor enforcement is inconsistent and there are lack of national coordination. China migrant worker is aging. The average is 41 until 50 years old. This trend is driven by younger generation avoiding domestic worker due to the better education and job option. The aging trend impacts the long-term sustainable of this labor sector.
The sector of employment, the first one is primary sector. As of 2024, it employs over 24% of the workforce. Agriculture is predominant in rural regions, producing wood-dependent crops like rice, wheat, corn, and peas. The labor composition has been urbanized due to rural-urban migration and the relocation of farm hands to urban areas of service trade environment. And the second one is secondary sector. The secondary sector employing over 28% of the workforce. It covers various industries like steel, electronic, textile, automobile, and machine manufacturing, and the major industrial cities are found in economically developed provinces like Guangdong, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shandong. And the tertiary sector employs over 48% of workers. The sector expansion is linked to income growth, urbanization, and technology advancement, indicating China's transition toward a service-oriented economy. Next, I will talk about the determinant of the employment better. First one is economic transformation and urbanization. China's switch from agriculture to industrial and service has caused a major labor migration to cities, creating a high demand of workers. Rural migrants, known as the floating population, fuel labor gaps and support urban growth in manufacturing, construction, and low-end service. And then is the demographic change. China's declining birth rate and increasing population, partly due to the one-child policy, has reduced the young workforce, pushing things toward automation. Meanwhile, demand for jobs in social service, healthcare, and elder care is rising. Then is the globalization and international trend. China's global economic integration boosts jobs in export sectors like machine and electronics. External shocks like the Sino-US trade war and supply chain disruption led to the dual circulation strategy. After that, technology process. Technological advancements like automation, AI, and digitalization are reshaping career trends by replacing routine jobs and increased demand for high-tech skills in areas like data analytics, e-commerce, fintech, and IT. Next is the government policy. China's Made in China 2025 policy drives a shift toward high-tech industrial, replacing low-skill manufacturing jobs with high-skill rules. The rural revitalization strategy aims to ease urban congestion by creating rural jobs through agricultural modernization and local development. And the last one is emerging industrial and green economy. Emerging sectors like EV, renewable energy, and biotech are reshaping jobs in China. Driven by the 2016 carbon neutrality goal, government support for a green economy is pushing demand for green jobs in energy efficiency and waste management.
Today I will talk about government agencies that handling domestic and also foreign worker. There are 5 agencies or ministry that actually handling domestic and foreign worker. The first one would be Ministry of Human Resource and Social Security. The key responsibility to this ministry is to formulate and implement national labor policy. They also oversees employment wages, social security, vocational training, and also labor market regulation. They also manage overall employment and also employment promotion to reduce unemployment rate in China. Lastly, they are the one actually they administer the labor force management, especially for foreign worker. The second one would be All China Federation or Trade Union. This is the sole legal national trade union in China representing workers' interests and also playing a key role in labor relation and dispute resolution. This agency promotes harmonious labor relations, organize workers, and engage in collective bargaining, participate in legislation concerning workers' rights, and also mediate labor dispute. The third one would be Ministry of Commerce. This ministry key responsibility is for foreign trade and also international economic cooperation. This ministry supervises the foreign economic project and also foreign labor cooperation to regulate foreign trade and economic affairs and also to promote China to international investment. The next one would be National Immigration
Administration NIA. Their key responsibility is to lead immigration administration, entry, exit, border control of foreign worker, and also legal immigration. They are the one actually control and administer immigration affairs, including border control and also management of refugee and nationality issues. They are the one that give visa or residence permit for foreigner and regulating issue related for foreign worker and illegal immigration. The last one would be Ministry of Foreign Affairs (MFA). This ministry implements China foreign policy by protecting right and interests of China citizens who live abroad and represent China in international organizations. This ministry also issuing visa to foreigners, managing bilateral consular agreement, and handling consular protection for overseas China's citizens.
For current system, laws and regulation in China in terms of payment of wage. First, the minimum wage varies by province from 1,690 to 2,690 yuan monthly. Beijing leads in hourly pay at 26.4 yuan, while Shanghai has the highest monthly rate. Employers must follow these standards and provide clear pay slip. During the probation period, wage can be less than 80% of the contract salary or the local minimum wage. For sick leave, workers receive at least 80% of local minimum wage, as per national guidelines. Dispatch employee must be paid the local minimum wage even when not assigned work. Finally, injured workers receive disability allowance 60 to 90% of their pre-injury salary. If this falls below minimum wage, the shortfall is covered by the Work Injury Insurance Fund. For the employment of women and working hours in China. In China, women play a significant role in labor force. Over 320 million women were employed in 2023, making up 43% of the workforce in urban non-private sector. They represent 41% of employees. China also has strong security coverage for women, including 650 million with medical insurance and 520 million with pension coverage. As for 2023, the gender pay gap stands for 12.9%. Through equal pay for equal work is legal and ethical standard that employees must uphold. Workplace safety and special protection for women are enforced, especially during menstruation, pregnancy, and breastfeeding, under the Special Labor Protection System for female employees, now followed by 73% of companies. Regarding of work hours, the standard 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, with overtime capped at 36 hours per month. Exemption apply during emergencies or essential repairs. For the annual leave in China based on the total work experience, which is employee with 1 to 10 years get 5 days, 10 to 20 years get 10 days, and over 20 years receive 15 days of paid leave annually. Those with less than 1 year are not entitled. If unused employees must be compensated at 200% of their daily wage, calculated as average monthly salary divided by 21.75. Maternity leave includes 98-day base, extendable by up to 15 days plus additional leaving depending on local rules. Paternity and childcare leave vary by province. Sick leave duration and pay depend on the local regulation, while marriage leave guarantee at least 3 days nationwide. In China, employment termination must follow strict legal rules to protect both parties. During probation, employers can terminate for serious misconduct without severance. Termination by mutual agreement is allowed, often with severance offered. For unilateral termination without cause, employers must give 30 days notice or pay in lieu, plus severance based on or service year in specific case like illness or redundancy. Fixed-term contract ending without renewal generally require severance unless refusal or performance issue apply. Mass layoff and company closure mandate severance and strict procedure. For a certain groups, pregnant women, employees on maternity, breastfeeding leave, injured worker, and long-serving near-retirement employees are protected from unilateral termination. This rule ensures fairness and legal compliance in Chinese labor law.
Next is foreigner employment in China. When working in China, first, legal employment is mandatory. You must have a work visa and work permit. Working illegally can lead to severe penalties. Second, China is looking for high-skilled professionals in sectors like tech and manufacturing to drive innovation. Finally, if you are legally employed, you have equal rights and mandatory social security. Support services are also available. In summary, prioritize obtaining your Z visa and work permit for a secure and legal professional journey in China. For China's retirement age reform, currently the minimum retirement age in China stands at 60 for men, 55 for white-collar women, and 50 for blue-collar women. However, these numbers are changing. China is implementing a gradual increase to address its aging population and ensure the long-term sustainability of its pension system. The goal is to reach 63 for men by 2040, 58 for white-collar women by 2038, and 55 for blue-collar women by 2035. These increases are happening incrementally, a month every few months depending on the group. Alongside this age adjustment, the minimum pension contribution period is also rising from 50 years currently, steadily climbing to 20 years by 2039. These changes are China's strategic response to an aging population aiming to ensure the long-term stability of its pension system. China's policy on child and young labor. The fundamental rule is clear: no employment for anyone under 16. This is crucial for protecting their education and well-being. There are only very limited exceptions for this age group, primarily in specific regulated fields like arts or sport. Some provincial rules might allow 14 to 15 years old in highly controlled internship, but never if it interferes with their schooling. For student interns aged 16 and above, their work is permitted as part of their studies, requiring proper agreement and fair treatment. Finally, young workers aged 16 to 70 plus are considered regular employees. However, they are protected a maximum of 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and no hazardous or night work. They receive full labor rights. In short, the focus is on safeguarding children while allowing structured work for older youth. Let's quickly grasp the 5 pillars of Social Security designed to provide a vital safety net for everyone. First, basic old age insurance. This is about securing income for our retirement, typically needing 15 years of contribution. Next, unemployment insurance offers temporary income if you lost your job through no fault of your own. Basic medical insurance covers essential healthcare from hospital visit to prescription, easing medical burdens. Work-related injury insurance protects employees injured at work with the employer covering all costs. And finally, maternity insurance supports new mothers covering childbirth and maternity leave. These 5 policies collectively build a robust system offering security and support through life's various stages. Let's review the essential facts about child labor in China. Prevalence and causes. Currently, about 7 to 8% of children aged 10 to 15 are engaged in labor, predominantly in rural areas. This issue is primarily driven by poverty, internal migration, and human trafficking sectors and law. These children are often found working in sectors like agriculture, bakeries, toy manufacturing, and electronics. It's crucial to remember that child labor is illegal in China for anyone under 16, with only very specific exemptions for performances. Progress and challenges. The good news is that we've seen a significant decline in child labor due to stronger laws and enforcement. However, it remains an ongoing issue, especially in under-regulated areas.